Who's ready to rock today, Fire Nation? JLD here with an amazing conversation on how to cure insomnia, anxiety, and depression. To drop these value bombs, I have brought Dan Murray, Surtur, on the mic. Dan was the UK's Young Entrepreneur of the Year, host of the UK's #1 business podcast, Secret Leaders, and founder of a new brain care company called Heights, which is pioneering how we take care of our brains. And he launched this after his multiple issues overcoming mental health problems of his own. And today, Fire Nation, we will be talking about how to cure insomnia, anxiety, and depression, and how Dan created this company and why, and disrupting the whole supplement industry in general, and so much more when we get back from thanking our sponsors. Customers want more from brands. Delivering more means owning the customer experience, taking control over data acquisition, analysis, creative, and delivery. Klaviyo calls this owned marketing, and they believe it's the best path to growth. For more, visit klaviyo.com/fire. That's KLAVIYO.com/fire. Online training is skyrocketing across every industry, and thousands of entrepreneurs just like us are using Thinkific to create, market, and sell online courses. Launch your own online course and share your knowledge with the world today. Get started at thinkific.com/EOF. That's THINKIFIC.com/EOF. Dan, say what's up to Fire Nation, and what is something that you believe about becoming successful that most people disagree with?
Great question. What's up, Fire Nation? Firstly, hello from London, where it has been a beautiful day. Despite what you might think about London, the sun has been shining all day. What do I think about becoming successful? I know that there's the Malcolm Gladwell school of thought of, success comes from 10,000 hours of practice, but I believe that is wrong. I think it comes from 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, 12,500 hours of deliberate rest, and 30,000 hours of sleep. So I very much believe in over-indexing on rest and space and sleep to do much more productive work to make you more successful.
Wow. Sleep for me, Fire Nation, is literally my one focus and priority in life. I mean, if I get my 8 hours plus a night, I am crushing it the next day. If I don't, I'm not. And I'm actually pretty obsessed right now with getting at least 2, hopefully 3 hours of sleep in before midnight, meaning I'm falling asleep by around 9-ish, because that's when I find my deep sleep actually happens, which is so critical, so key. So I love that we're talking about this, because listen, if you have insomnia, you know how painful lack of sleep is. If you have anxiety and depression, it only gets exacerbated by lack of sleep. And that's what we're talking about here today, about how to cure insomnia, anxiety, and depression. And, Dan's dealt with this stuff, which is why he's founded this company called Heights to really help with brain care, because that's really, really key stuff. So let's kind of talk about that process of you starting this company, Heights. Break it down.
Okay, so the story goes, it was about 3 or 4 years ago. I was in a period of my life where I was very happy, objectively happy. Everyone asked me how I am. I'm happy. I was running a tech company. It was going well. I was getting married in the summer. My mom had just recovered from cancer. I had all of these great reasons to be happy. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I do my gratitude journaling. And one day I just couldn't sleep out of nowhere. That was okay. But the next night I couldn't sleep. And, the symptoms really were I'd go to sleep at midnight, actually, and I'd wake up at 2 a.m. or by 2 a.m. wide awake, full of energy. There was no chance of getting back to sleep. First couple of nights, obviously, I'm like, great, I'll just get up and do some work. A few nights later, I'm like, okay, I'm obviously just like Elon Musk. I've heard that he only sleeps about 2 hours a night. Maybe I'm going to invent, a new transportation to take us to Venus or something. Who knows? Sadly, that didn't happen, that reality. And this sort of narrative that really fit my condition started to wane a little bit. So I was going into the office, having done 8 hours of work already by the time we started our day, and feeling quite smug and productive for the first few weeks. But over the period of 5.5 months, which is how long I had insomnia, I was just drained, desperately drained, as you would be. I tried all the different things to help solve it. So I went to the doctor, obviously. The doctor recommended me sleeping pills. I didn't believe that was going to be a long-term solution, so I didn't really appreciate that kind of diagnosis. I tried meditation, I tried Calm, I tried Sleepio, which is a sleep-specific meditation app. I went to a sleep therapist. I tried all the different things. it just got worse and worse. And what ended up happening was, during the day, I'd start to have, really chronic anxiety, panic attacks out of nowhere. I'd be sitting in a meeting, I'd get hot and cold sweats suddenly and have to leave. I just didn't really know why or what was happening, why this was happening to my body. Anyway, I was out for dinner with a friend explaining to her my symptoms, and she just turned to me and said, "Have you heard of brain nutrition?" And I was like, "No, I literally don't know what you're talking about, frankly." And I consider myself a fairly healthy guy. I measure my bloods and I do all of these different things. My father died when I was young of ill health, so I'm very into preventative measures and looking after myself. So, objectively, I thought I was a pretty healthy guy. But here I was having dinner with a friend. She mentions brain nutrition and tells me that I should go and see a dietitian. And I didn't really know what a dietitian was. I'd heard of nutritionists because, that's just a lot of people on Instagram, obviously. But she explained that a dietitian is like a nutritionist, but they deal with sick people and they're medically trained and, they actually have to study and do the science and everything. So they are literally dealing with sick people. And she's like, "It sounds like you have a mental health problem." And I've not really diagnosed myself, right? I hadn't really thought about it like that. So I went to see this dietitian, and the experience was so fascinating because within 1 minute of telling her my symptoms, she literally turned to me and said, "You've got a brain nutrition problem. You need to take these supplements." And she told me to go and take DHA omega-3, blueberry extract, and B vitamin complex. And the reasons for those were, she said, your brain is 60% fat, and 90% of that fat is one compound called DHA. And it's very common that people have a DHA malnourishment issue. If you do, you are essentially depleting your brain of its core nutrient that it needs to thrive, and then replacing it with things. She gave a great analogy, which was, it's a bit like, if you're building a house and you put in bricks, you can remove a few bricks and you can put in polystyrene. It'll still keep the house up. But after a while, if you take away one too many, the foundations start to fall apart a little bit. And she's like, that's basically what it sounds like you've got going on. She recommended blueberry extract because she said it's a powerful antioxidant that'll clean out your lymphatic system of your brain. No idea what she meant, obviously. But I was like, okay, cool. Looking very smart and smug with myself, of course, very studious. And she said, and B vitamin complex, because, you've got insomnia and you're having a spike of energy at 2 a.m, which is, not helping anyone. And so you need to regulate your energy supply. She was literally like, go take these. But buy them from a really high quality retailer, because what you won't know is that most supplements that are cheap, that you will be gravitating to go and buy on the high street, will not have the dosages in that you need. There is literally a discrepancy between the minimum amount you can put in and make a marketing claim in the supplement industry and the whole world, like globally, and the actual amount, according to science, that you need to try and solve these issues. So she literally wrote me a prescription. And I went and spent, $150 on these 3 products. And within 10 days, I was sleeping like a baby. I had no anxiety, like it had literally gone away. And I called her up in absolute astonishment and excitement and everything else. And she was so completely nonchalant. She was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, oh, okay. Do you know what I mean? I was like so excited to tell this person she saved my life. She's changed my life. And she was like, yes, I know. And I was like, right, okay. And she was like, yeah, basically just frustrated that the media and then the supplement industry, which doesn't help itself, enable these stories about how they don't work. And most people go and buy normal supplements in the high street, which are low quality. And basically all supplements have a legal requirement to put the information on the box, which they do, but in tiny asterisks. So the example that she gave me, which always stuck to me, was 7Cs, right? 7Cs is the biggest omega-3 brand in the whole entire world. They're the ones you go and take if someone tells you to take omega-3s. They put in 45 milligrams per day in their daily dose because that's the minimum amount you can put in and make a marketing claim like helping with healthy brain function. But you need 250 milligrams as a minimum, according to science. So if I went and bought 7Cs, I would have to be taking that product for 6 days just to get 1 day's worth of what I was actually needing in my brain for the health. So that is a problem that sort of perpetuated everywhere. So for me, there was 2 things. It was like, one was, wow, I can't believe this woman is so completely uninterested in my personal story here. She's just saved my life. And actually, she's more just annoyed that I'm surprised than anything else. And 2, as an entrepreneur, there is a real opportunity here to create a brand based on science. So based on what the science says about how to take care of your brain, particularly if nutrition is such a big part of it, that creates a giant gap in the market. I think this is where the insight sort of came from, where the first thing I did was started writing a newsletter, because, you can obviously do that with MailChimp and a keyboard for 50 quid. So, for $50 a month, I was like starting to build an audience by literally researching a science paper every single week and rewriting it in plain English so people would read it, in millennial language with some lulls and some gifs, of course. But the point was, I was communicating what a science paper says is good for your brain and how to take care of your brain according to science, because I felt like one of the reasons why I was so unaware of the things that could happen is because I'd become completely apathetic and uninterested and unable to trust anyone. Because on Instagram, there's just so many different, influential, charismatic marketeers trying to sell me all sorts of potions and things, that in the end, my trust had just been eroded so much. I had this perspective that nutrition was nowhere near, supplements were nowhere near my scope of consideration for solving a proper mental health problem. And when I started reading the science papers, that said the opposite. Science literally told me that nutrition was one of the most likely ways to improve my mental health if I had a problem, and if I was at a baseline, to improve it, to give me better clarity, focus, sleeping better, you name it. And I just thought that this was the most fascinating market opportunity, because the science is all there to prove that this stuff works if you, as the brand owner, are responsible, are putting in the correct dosages, are picking your ingredients really well, and essentially fueling someone's most important organ with the highest quality nutrients you possibly can, then they're more likely to actually feel the impact. So, I set about starting the company Heights with my co-founder, Joel, on this idea of, we don't take care of our brains. Let's start a company that explains what science says we can do to take better care of the brain that takes care of us, right? And that was essentially the trigger point. And it started 2 years ago. 125 newsletters later, I'm still going, still writing it. And yeah, I've been talking for a while now. It's very unaware of me. Sorry, a massive monologue.
I accept your apology. You are British. It's kind of one of those things.
Exactly.
I just got to sit back.
Yeah, and I'm British, so we've got to apologize.
You have to understand that there is so much frustration out there by these functional medicine doctors, by people who really do understand how the brain, how the body, how your gut microbiome, like how these things work. And they are frustrated. They are frustrated that, there's so just much in the way of lies that is out there in the world, because it is so sad to see people just, chugging soda and crushing sugar and eating this and doing that and processed and preservatives and all this crap. And just thinking that, hey, like either A, what I'm doing is healthy because it says no fat on it, or B, like not even knowing that what they're putting in their mouth is having the effects that they're having when it comes to sleep or mental health or all these things. And it can sometimes be very simple supplements, very straightforward things that your body's missing in the form of what it could be: vitamin D, zinc, fill in the blank on a number of other things. And boom, it can just change things literally sometimes overnight. And I do agree with you though, Dan. Like it would be nice if she wasn't so nonchalant about it. She was like, yes, I'm happy for you because I know that this is changing your life. Let's get this word out together. And Fire Nation, we're going to be talking about some other things when it comes to insomnia, anxiety, and depression when we get back from thanking our sponsors. But also, I want to have Dan really kind of break down his ability to disrupt the supplement industry, because it's a pretty fascinating thought and theory and process. And again, we'll be there when we get back from thanking our sponsors. As the COVID-19 pandemic has changed how we do business and how we make money, entrepreneurs are moving to online courses more than ever. And you can quickly pivot and create an impactful course for your business with Thinkific, the best platform to create, market, and sell an online course. With Thinkific, you get total control over the structure, price, and content of your online courses. Plus, you don't have to be tech savvy to get started. We know from personal experience. We've been hosting our courses on Thinkific since 2017. Our students rave about how easy it is to follow our content thanks to Thinkific's readily publicly available themes and templates. And in a world where spending hours online can get exhausting, we know that we are delivering an experience for our students that is both user-friendly and engaging, allowing them to succeed and reach their goals. So whether you're a guitar teacher or an executive business coach, Thinkific can help you expose your business to millions of people worldwide. Join the thousands of entrepreneurs creating and selling their own online courses. Monetize your skills today at thinkific.com/EOF. That's THINKIFIC.com/EOF. Are you working around the clock to build the business you always imagined? Do you want to communicate with your fast-growing list of customers in a personalized way, but also in a way that gives you time to work on the rest of your business? Do you ever wonder how companies you admire, the ones that redefine their categories, do it? Companies like Living Proof and Chubbies? They do it by building relationships with their customers from the very beginning while also evolving in real time as their customers' needs change. These companies connect quickly with their customers, collect their information, and start creating personalized experiences and offers that inspire a rapid purchase, often within minutes of uploading their customer data. Klaviyo empowers you to own the most important thing to any business, the relationship between you and your customers, and the experiences you deliver from the first email to the last promotion. To learn more about how Klaviyo helps you own your growth, visit klaviyo.com/fire. That's KLAVIYO.com/fire. So Dan, we're back, and as we teased before the break, disrupting the supplements industry. How does one even start doing that? Because it is an entrenched industry with a lot of difficulty to break in. What do you do?
It's really funny because me and my business partner were from a tech background. We built a tech company previously, so we knew nothing about supplements, nutrition, or neuroscience. And I think that's actually been to our benefit because we asked the first principle stupid questions. So we went around and asked people who were taking supplements, what do you do? When do you take them? Why do you do this? And all this stuff. And what we learned is most people will start taking supplements and not continue taking them. It's the most common trend. So people about 15 days in or whatever start forgetting and they don't bother. And so we looked at this, there's a number of different things we looked at, but one of them was the quality of the supplements was so bad they never felt anything. The second was they all come in the same bottle, right? The same round bottle. Right. So they all go into a supplement cupboard and out of sight, out of mind. So, we had spent so much time and energy thinking about user experience in our mobile company that, we were like, well, why does no one think about doing that in the supplements industry? So we worked with this world-leading agency called Pentagram, who, are quite famous for making the Kindle and the iPad. And we said, let's completely change the game. Let's make a bottle that fits through the letterbox for people, can hold 60 capsules because it's 2 a day. That's how many we needed to get the actual quality that we needed to feed people's brains. But let's reinvent this so that using the best-in-class habit design understanding, when someone starts taking our smart supplement, they will continue taking it. The most important thing you learn from building a consumer mobile company is retention. Retention is the name of the game. And if you can figure out retention, customer acquisition is easy because most of your customer acquisition comes from personal referral because you nailed retention. So, the same is true in my mind when building physical products, that if you nail retention, that's your growth strategy. But no one does that. And the reason no one does that is because everyone is willing. Firstly, everyone usually that creates a new supplement comes from within the industry. So they come with all the preconceived ideas about how you do things. We literally ripped up the entire rule book. So we said, if this is D2C, how can we start? Right. So we send our product, to 72 different countries. So it gets sent all over the world. We have customers everywhere, and including Puerto Rico, as you know. And the reality for us is we started with the ingredients. So the most common thing that almost every single supplement manufacturer will do is they will buy all the supplements from China because it's just the cheapest and it's the mass manufacturer of most of the ingredients. But we did the opposite. We said we want to be a B corporation, so we want to be a highly sustainable company. We want to have the highest quality products in the market, bar none. So we will research where every ingredient comes from and make sure it's the best. So as a result of that, our omega-3 oil, which comes from algae, comes from Nova Scotia. Our blueberry extract comes from Italy. We've literally gone to the highest quality manufacturers of each of the ingredients so they are in their most bioavailable form. And every single one of our 20 ingredients that goes into the product has literally been sourced from the world's best manufacturer with the highest quality principles. Common thing we did was we said we're not putting in any caking agents or synthetic fillers whatsoever. which funnily enough was such a weird thing to the manufacturers that they didn't believe us.
They're like, wait a second, you're not putting sawdust in these supplements? I don't think we understand what you're talking about.
You'd be amazed though. So, jokes aside, what we learned by looking into the supplement industry, so 99.999% of all supplements have caking agents and synthetic fillers bulking agents in them. But what's crazy is a large amount of them will even have things like rat poison and cyanide. The choices are bizarre. And I'm not joking either. It's just completely crazy. Most of them are chalk and things like that. So this is one problem, is you're buying a cheap supplement, you're getting the minimum amount in there, but worse, in my opinion, is you're also taking a bunch of stuff you didn't ask for, like chalk and worst case cyanide. So we were like, we are just going to pack our product completely full of only ingredients. There will be no synthetic caking agents or anything like that. And the first 3 times we got our product from our manufacturer, that's not how it turned up, because literally 3 times in a row, they refused to do it like that because they thought they'd either misunderstood us or that we were joking, because it's so unusual, because we're the only people that have ever asked for it. And they're like, but you realize that there'll be so much more cost to you if you do it this way. And we're like, yes, we realize that. That is literally the point. The point is to have the best product in the market. Kept on having to send it back. So that story alone tells you how uncommon it is to actually give your customers the best quality product you possibly can. However, we did it. We put together this patented capsule. So the capsule is very cool. It's got omega-3 on the outside and the vitamins floating on in the inside. So it's like a very beautiful designer-looking pill. Most importantly for that, you can take it with water first thing in the morning, because again, we did our customer research and we learned that people don't have a regular time of day to take their supplements because they need to take them with food, and people take food at all different times, so they get out of the habit. For us, you can take the product first thing in the morning and it has full bioavailability into your gut because of the omega-3s on the outside that dissolve first and the nutrients inside that dissolve with it. It basically dissolves in fat, which is exactly how supplements should be taken. That's why you take them with food. So we, hacked the system of the capsule. We hacked the system of the bottle to make sure that it's in front of people's mind. Most people have it on their bedside table, but obviously a lot of people have it in their workstation. No one keeps it in their supplement cupboard, which is exactly what we were looking for. And then, because it's online, when you sign up, we often get you to take the brain health survey, so you have a good understanding of where your brain health is at the moment. And then we help take you through like a course with a whole bunch of different world-leading health and wellness and science experts to nudge you on your journey, depending on your age, on your diet, on what you're currently feeling now. Is it anxiety? Is it sleep? Are you actually fine and you're looking to improve your cognitive performance? All of these different inputs, we've worked with world-leading scientists from Stanford and MIT and UCL to make sure that you are getting personalized content for you that's helping you along in your journey. As a result, we think about this concept of brain care, as more than just looking after yourself from a nutritional point of view, but being aware of the different small things that you can do to improve your brain's health every single day. And I think the most curiously interesting thing about what we do is really the fact that for a lot of people with mental health problems, and they could be mild anxiety all the way through to full-blown insomnia, obviously there's a whole array that we feel in society. The most common thing that we do when that happens to us is think about how our psychological state can be improved by different triggers. So do I need to go see a therapist? Do I need more social connection? Do I need to find more purpose in my life? These are all the questions we ask. But what I've learned, and science backs up, and therefore our product is for some reason, this unique story in the marketplace, is that yes, there are psychological triggers, but there are also biological triggers. And quite often, if you're having a mental health problem, you're not necessarily having a psychological problem, like I wasn't. You are having a biological problem, and nutrition can be the answer. And this is where we come in. And I think what's even more interesting is, a lot of people are aware in the 1%, and I'm sure a lot of, definitely a lot of your listeners will be in that sort of 1% of optimizing cognitive performance. So the idea of taking supplements to optimize your cognitive performance will not be lost on them at all. However, the difference is a lot of these people jump straight to nootropics. And nootropics is a little bit like, you wanna run a race, and let's say you want to do a 10K. And so, you start day one by having a Red Bull and you go super fast, but you can't really do that every day. The better way of doing it was to feed your body with the right nutrition every single day, the right fuel. So over the period of 4 weeks, you train for the 10K and you can do that every single day. And that is, to me, the difference between nootropics and our smart supplement. We use all high quality natural nutrients to feed your brain what it needs to thrive. If you can get it from your whole food diet, you should. And we tell people that. We have recipes on our website. We tell everyone that they shouldn't be taking a supplement. They should start with their own diet. But the second best thing to do is not nothing. It's to look after your brain and make sure that you're feeding it what it needs to thrive. And the impact that people have from this is profound. If you look at our Trustpilot reviews, the majority of them relate to we've helped solve their sleep, they've got less anxiety. It's all of the things that I personally experienced. And the difference between me and the dietitian is I'm not nonchalant about it. I get super excited when I hear this stuff.
And it is fascinating to me that literally, like, my mother used to send me off to school in the morning with one toaster strudel, which is nothing but sugar and fried dough. And it's like, I went to school to think, to learn, to be educated. And by the way, to play sports and to like run around. And like, what were we doing? Like, I am like so jealous if I ever have kids, like how lucky they are that they're going to have the right stuff for their brain, for their body, for everything. I'm just like, oh, I'm so jealous of you. But this is what it comes down to, Fire Nation. You need to take care of yourself. I mean, I'm actually holding this bottle that Dan's talking about in my hand right now. It is gorgeous. He has a gorgeous pamphlet that comes with it that actually goes into some of the details he's talking about as well. So just really overall, he's just going for this. How can I be the best solution to a real problem? How can I be the best solution to a real problem? Not like the most sawdust in a capsule, solution to a problem, the best solution to a real problem. How can you do that, Fire Nation, in your world? So, Dan, take this home for us. I'm giving you 1 minute, then I'm literally hitting the mute button on you. What is the one thing you want Fire Nation to take away from everything that you said here today? What's that one final value bomb?
I think, to put it really succinctly, if you put your brain first, the rest follows. So in life, if you take care of your most important organ, it will take care of the rest of you. And frankly, this is not an opinion. It is a scientific fact that your brain is an organ. It is a scientific fact what it needs to thrive. It is a scientific fact what ingredients and what nutrients help it thrive. And so if you want to perform in life, if you want to sleep better, if you want to think clear, if you want to make better decisions, and all of those things compound to making more money, living healthier, longer, and happier lives because your brain is literally your control center, then feeding it the best fuel that it needs to thrive is probably the single most important new decision that you can make as a listener. So I hope that rings it home because it's completely true. And I hope you check out our website, yourheights.com. And I'd love anyone to contact me at Dan Murray Serta on any social with any questions. And I will definitely make sure I answer any of the Fire Nation fans that hit me up, of course.
Fire Nation, you're the average. Of the 5 people you spend the most time with, you've been hanging out with DMS and JLD today, so keep up that heat. Head over to eofire.com, type Dan in the search bar. His show notes page will pop up with everything that we've been talking about today. Best show notes in the biz. And of course, check out Your Heights. That's HEIGHTS. yourheights.com to check out more details about what they have going on. Maybe order one of these sweet bottles for yourself. Again, I've got mine sitting right here on my table, right next to my microphone, because it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and I care about my brain. I care about this organ.
JLD, I'm very happy to offer your listeners £10 or whatever the equivalent comes out in dollars or wherever you are in the world, off a quarterly subscription with the code EOF with pleasure.
Wow, EOF. So all you need to do, Fire Nation, is head over to yourheights.com. Check it out. If it makes sense, hey, go in the checkout, get a quarterly subscription, enter EOF, And the equivalent to 10 pounds, which I'm going to say is about $12.74, is going to come, actually, it's probably more like $18.74.
I was going to say, you've nailed your conversion.
It was a total guess. It's a total guess. But it's more than $10. I know that. And Fire Nation, you're going to get that off your quarterly subscription. But of course, we get a lot of Brits listening right now that are like, well, we know what 10 pounds is. It's 10 pounds. That's pretty cool too. EOF at checkout, Fire Nation. Make it happen. And Dan, thank you for sharing your truth, knowledge, and value with Fire Nation today. For that, we salute you, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Dude, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Big love to the Fire Nation.
Hey, Fire Nation. Today's Value Bomb content was brought to you by Dan. And if you have ever thought about creating a podcast on your own, the Podcast Journal is for you. It is gorgeous, faux leather, and it's a journal that will guide you step by step to the creation and launch of your podcast in 50 days, 50. Visit thepodcastjournal.com. Use promo code podcast for $15 off, and I will catch you there or on the flip side. Customers want more from brands. Delivering more means owning the customer experience, taking control over data acquisition, analysis, creative, and delivery. Klaviyo calls this owned marketing, and they believe it's the best path to growth. For more, visit klaviyo.com/fire. That's KLAVIYO.com/fire. Online training is skyrocketing across every industry, and thousands of entrepreneurs just like us are using Thinkific to create, market, and sell online courses. Launch your own online course and share your knowledge with the world today. Get started at thinkific.com/EOF. That's THINKIFIC.com/EOF.